The only problem with driving in a storm is... Oh, there it is. There's the bridge I made. Can't find the stuff that I made. Visibility's light, Captain! Can't see. 2 feet in front of us. Alright, welcome back to another episode of Astroneer with your host Midnight. And last we left off, we're still building up the base. I have an idea. I want to do like a hydrazine farm. So I want to move this out this direction over here and make a hydrazine farm somewhere up here on this kind of incline. I don't know. We'll see. The problem is I'm going to need power, a lot of power. And we'll see how that's going to work. Let's see, what do I have on me? I have a little bit of power. This is still... You know, it seems like they kind of fixed it. I don't know if it was pulling from the... It seemed like it was pulling from the power. I'm not entirely sure if they fixed this power problem with the used power items. Like it... Because the sun is up, I don't really know if it is pulling from that power. So I'm gonna get... I need resin. Let's make our... Let's get that hydrazine. Oops. Have the inhibitor on. Let's just take the inhibitor off. And kind of dig down in here. And you can see what I'm saying. See how it takes mainly just the items from the surface. It doesn't go deep enough. So if you really want to get all the resources, you can't really use the inhibitor to gather. The inhibitor's gather is nice to just get the top items if you don't want to, you know, have to repair the whole. It does work for the top items for sure. I think I got everything in here. But doesn't get everything. So you're kind of... Yeah, I don't think this is working still. From the last time I tested it, it pulls immediately and then it doesn't pull anymore. It's kind of just pulls part of it, you know what I'm saying? So see, we're gonna need a lot of resin to do this thing. So let's just come on out and look for some resin. Luckily, you know, resin is pretty abundant in this roll of this build. I just need to figure out where it was again. But this looks like a nice place for a little plateau. This little plateau going up here. So I think that should do for like a hydrazine farm. I know where the compound is now. It's like right on the other side of the base. And I think the resin was just the opposite end of that. Sorry, I looked down for a minute. Let's see. Yeah, I want to say the resin was all over this way, but we'll see. Maybe I'm talking out of my backside. I know, like the other day, when I was driving around, you could look at the video. There was resin everywhere. And now there's not. What is that over there? Is that an organic or a compound? That's a compound. Hey, man. Oh, because I pulled the compound from the surface here. I'll take that. I'll leave a little compound laying around. No, but seriously, the other day when I was driving around, it was just like resin everywhere. So non-stop fields of resin. So I don't know. I don't know how this all works. How this all draws out. If it really does remember what was there last. Seems to me that it flips. Because when I was driving around in the last episode, it was all this compound wasn't around. It was resin. But then again, I might have been going the wrong direction. Oh, for power, right. We have this. We're going to hook that up. Okay. I remember what we were doing now. That's what happens when you play multiple Astroneers. This is a huge field. This is an absolute huge field of resin. I'm going to start dropping off in a second here. So let's just add these two. And since I can add the power to the front and back, let's do that and pop just 2 more resin on here. Okay. And then we have, what, space for 4 more? So we can get those 4. And then that should be pretty good. It's not going to help me build the platforms, but... Okay, that's all I can get. But it's a good start. And now I know just come back to that beacon. And there's another field right here. It's not as big, but it's at least, you know, 4 or 5 pieces of resin. Or maybe the resin hasn't drawn in yet. Who knows? I'm still trying to figure out how they draw that stuff in. Oh, nice jump. That was a solid jump. Landed on 4 wheels. There's another thing of resin. See, when I was driving around a minute ago, you didn't see that. There's another thing of resin. You didn't see that. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it just hadn't rendered in yet. I don't know. I don't know how they work this whole resin deal. All right, I lost my solar power. Hopefully I didn't. No, I didn't lose the generator. Good. Let's keep bringing this up. Let me make sure I'm getting up this hill. Kind of want to go this direction. Dang it. Parked this too close. Okay. Yeah, I kind of want to go up this hill. Let's make sure I'm angling this way. I'm going the right way, right? Yep. Don't want to go too dramatic. Nope, that was all the resin I had on me. Okay, let's come back. Yeah, you can get pretty far with the resin. It's not too bad. The extensions are pretty good. They come out pretty decent. Okay, I think this is kind of where I want to be. Let's do one more. And we'll start building. You know, when I get the fuel condenser, I don't have the fuel condenser right now, but when I get the fuel condenser, we'll build around this. And we'll have a nice little fuel condenser. In the meantime, we can have, like, we can get some power situation going. We have kind of like a little field for power. And I can stick this resin. Let's put this resin right here. And I don't remember what it is for the fuel condenser, but probably like copper or something. Oops. I'll take that off. Okay, that's good. Take that off there. Let's take off these compound. Let's continue to keep going. Well, you know what? It's a smart idea. Let's just build another. Let's build another storage. Always good to have more storage. There we go. Can't do without that. We got the 2 wide mods we found last time. But let's continue on. Let's continue on our mission for research. We'll pull that solar panel. I need to get the winch before I can pull that solar panel. I don't think that I have the winch. Let me just double check. Maybe I do have the winch. We'll see. Nope, negative. No winch. So let's go ahead and jump in and make our way over to the trees that still had a bunch of research in it. They really did. There's some hydrazine right there. So if you guys haven't seen it, the System Era put up a press release. Well, not a press release. It was a blog entry. Veronica? Starts with a V. Shoot. Horrible with the names. Looks like my kryptonite. Just remembering names. Excuse me. And they talked about where they're going to go, what they're going to do next. So it was great. They also kind of gave a little bit of an understanding of what pre-alpha was. I think some people were not really understanding what pre-alpha is. Pre-alpha is, you know, the game is, it's functional, but it is not anywhere near its completed state. And so I think that there was some confusion with that. I think people were maybe under the impression that the game was farther along than what it actually was. I don't know. You know, for what it is right now, to be honest with you, because people constantly complain or criticize about any change that's made, right? You have the game right now. You like the game, and they make a change that maybe you don't agree with, and so now you become very critical, and they've got so many more changes to come that it almost feels to me what they should do is just release this as Astroneer Lite and say, okay, well, this is the final product for this, and we're just going to go off and build more Astroneer behind the scenes so that we don't have to worry about the constant criticism. When we deliver the full game, we'll deliver the full game to you. I take it, I am of the impression that the solar panel, is it working? Yes. I'm of the impression that, you know, it's really hard to get people to accept your change. It always seems like, you know, people are very reluctant to change when they're used to something. So even if they came out with the next best great feature, there's always going to be those critics that say, no, I don't really care for what you just did, and you ruined the whole game, and not really have an understanding of medium generator. Okay, that's the coal-based generator. Not really have an understanding of what it means to be in pre-alpha, or what it means to be, you know, the continual development of games. So, I don't know. Like I said, I'm of the opinion that maybe they should just release this as a light version and let people play this. This is what this iteration is, and then go off and build the other piece and not worry about the constant criticism that they're getting. So, you know, I floated an idea and I put it on their forums, and I've got a lot of resistance other than creative or constructive feedback on how to actually improve the game. It was just like, no, your idea is not, I don't see how it's going to work, or it's not a good idea, or it's like, okay, what I challenged you to say, you know, just don't give me that answer, it's not a good idea. Give me what your answer, what your response would be. And while the community here on the channel was fantastic, they were like, oh, you know, here's some ideas you didn't think about, or what about this, what about that? You know, that's exactly the kind of feedback that I was looking for. Help create something, right? Be part of the building process. They were just a bunch of negative Nancy's. It seemed to me like they were a bunch of negative Nancy's. I didn't get much great criticism back. I got one very vocal person that was just like, well, I don't think that's gonna work, or anytime I made a change in suggestion, it was like, I don't think that, you know, you don't like my idea or whatever, when I was just like, I'm just trying to get you to explain it some more. So I don't know. I think they're gonna have a challenge with people with that type of mindset, not understanding the current state of the game. This is what it is right now, and it's going to change. And so what they put out was, they put out the roadmap, and I had said complexity. I put out my video like a day before they put out the roadmap, so it was kind of funny that there were some things that were in alignment on their roadmap, which was they have crafting on their roadmap, they have research on their roadmap, and they have modularity, which is that complexity, that piece that you can, you know, add pieces on. Now they're saying add pieces onto the base or the vehicle. I think they're looking at maybe possibly enhancements, where I was looking at the crafting aspect, that when you craft it, you have to craft it in pieces. The main response that came back, whether it's from their forums or on the comment section, was, I don't make it grindy. And I totally get that. I think I think that you have, you know, a couple mindsets, which is you've got some people that just want it to be like a casual experience. I don't want to have to do much for crafting. I don't want to have to do much going and looking at resources or finding resources and stuff. And then you've got the other mindset of, well, look, I want this to be a lot more challenging than what it is right now. And so I think the only way that they're going to solve that problem is by having some sort of level system that you've got some complexity level that if it's harder, then the crafting recipes are harder. And if you have crafting recipes right now, it's not like you don't. You know, each one of these building pieces or platforms is a recipe that you have to build. It takes X number of resources, and that's the recipe for it. I'm just saying make that recipe more complex, but oops, where did I put that? It did go somewhere. Oh, went over there on the ground. No, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, so it was kind of interesting. I think they're going to have a challenge trying to get people to accept some of their changes. It seems to me that people like Astroneer for what it is right now. I like it too. I like it a lot. That's why I'm playing it. I've played it over 100 hours so far. I don't play games that I don't like. But there needs to be a little bit more meat to this. This almost feels, I'm not saying it 100%, but it almost feels like a Minecraft creative mode. Almost feels like a Minecraft creative mode. I understand that creative, you just instantly get everything. And, you know, to be honest with you, there's really not that much work to get stuff here. So, you know, I feel that this is kind of like a creative mode already. And the reason why I say that is, look, I'm going around, I'm getting research so that I can continue to keep building my buildings. But as you noticed, as I was getting the research, I am also getting resources. So this concept of having to go and dig for resources is actually, you know, you don't really have to. You could just, if you're on a planet like this where research is abundant, all you have to do is keep opening these up, and you will continue to get the resources that you need to build other parts of your station. So I just found I opened up one and I found some copper or something. Well, okay, well, copper's needed, and that would be something I would in the past have to go down into a cave or something, or find some malachite, dig that up, then smelt it to use it, and then I'm okay. But now it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna open up a ton of researches, and eventually I'll find 2 copper that I need, or 2 aluminum that I need, or 2 whatever that I need. And it is so true. Such a true statement. Alright, let's go. Fill these guys up. I got some people that responded that they were so frustrated with the 150s, with the way that they did research, that they actually uninstalled. And I can understand that. The randomness, they tried to make the randomness, and this was just, hey, look, this is to fight off the people that were saying the game is too easy. I think that they should just do what they're doing. Forget about everybody else right now, and just build. Just go develop. Go do your ideas, and you know, that's another way. Release it all later. Spend the next year developing, and then release an update. And maybe people will forget about you for a little bit, but at least you're not going to have this huge negative feedback come back to you. I mean, you might after you release, but then you say, hey, look, this is the state of our application. And what people don't understand, and I think that this is just the current day and age, because back in my day, which kind of dates me, but back in my day, you would go to the store and you would buy your video game. There was, you know, not this concept of going to YouTube to watch a ton of videos on the video game to make my decision if I'm going to buy it or not. You were sold on the marketing and the package. Got home, you installed it, and if it turned out to be a giant turd, then it was a giant turd. If you didn't like the functionality, oh well, that's the game. That is the game. That's how it was developed. This is what you get. And so you'd get people that would love it. You'd get people that would hate it. But that's it. Nowadays, this idea of Steam and early access and, you know, there seems to be this mindset of, well, the game is never really done. I'm just going to pay my $19.99 and I expect the developers to keep working on it forever. It's kind of weird. It's, you know, it's not, it's users nowadays are completely spoiled. It's interesting because another game that I was playing, am playing currently, they were a copy of another game that I like on the site, on my site that I play a lot. And they came out with this newsletter and they completely bashed the game that they copied, saying that it was incomplete and that the developer abandoned it and everything else. And the developer had said that I am just going to finish the current functionality and release the game. And that's exactly what he did. And this concept of even another game developer thinking that the original developer abandoned it because he just finished it and didn't keep going with download content or, you know, continual updates. Medium wind turbine. Good. I wanted that. That's kind of ridiculous. I thought it was, not only was the statement completely unprofessional and false, I just thought it was a ridiculous statement that we've become video game consumers that expect the world out of our developers. Or game developers. But I don't know, that's my 2 cents. No, I don't think it should have to be that way, but... So we're doing the grind. This is the grind that everybody hates to do. I went down into the caves. The caves seem to be more... They seem to be light on research, and that's kind of... It feels that's how the way that the game is working. If the caves don't have a bunch of research, then it's the top side that has the research. If the caves have a ton of research, then it's this light on the top side. That seems to be true. I don't know. You guys can agree or disagree with me on that one. But from the last couple games that I've been playing, that is exactly the dynamic that's been happening for me. So we're on the grind. We're trying to find the last remaining pieces that we need of research. And luckily, there happens to be a ton of this stuff around. So, but this is the grind that people are complaining about. It's like, oh my god. Well, you know, I suggested something different. There has to be some sort of grind. I don't get it. I'm confused. I'm absolutely confused. You know, people were saying don't turn it into a grind, but there is currently a grind. There will be a grind, unless you're talking about complete 100% sandbox creative type mode where you can just go into a menu and pick, I want this building, I want that building, without having to do any kind of work. It's a crafting game. You know, people say it's an exploration game. I think it's both. I think it's both a crafting and an exploration game. You're exploring to find the resources you need for crafting. And so, for me, for a crafting game, while I like it, it seems kind of light. It's not complex enough. For a exploration game, you know, if I didn't have to worry about anything, oxygen, power, any of that, it's pretty cool. They need more diverse biomes, which they said, that was one of the things they said that they were going to be working on, was more diverse biomes. Is the turbine copper? No, it's aluminum. And I have a ton of aluminum. The turbine, I have not been very successful with the turbine on this planet. It doesn't turn enough. Let's see. A storm, it's gonna pass me. I think it's gonna pass me. Okay, continue on. So, but I can't get enough. I can't get enough of Astroneer. I just love it. I mean, the graphics are fantastic. The concept is fantastic. So, to me, even though it's content light so far, okay, I just start again. The only problem with driving in a storm is, oh, there it is. There's the bridge I made. Can't find the stuff that I made. Visibility's light, Captain. Can't see 2 feet from us. Let's see, I think the trees will research are over here. Somewhere. I feel like I might have gone in a circle. Another down vehicle with some good stuff in it. Sure. Alright, where are we at? A little far off target. Come on, clear up for me, please. There's a research over here in the distance. So I'm getting to the point where I found all the close research. Now I'm going to have to kind of venture out a little bit. Try to find the farther ones. And I don't, for the people that are saying, yeah, add another rover. I'm having a hard enough time with 2. I think when you get to 3, your velocity is really reduced. And especially, this seems to be really rocky, more so than some of the other planets I've been on. So I'm having some difficulty making my way across the planet here. Ah, there's a hole there. So let's come back this way. I probably missed a couple things. You get a nice little smooth area. It's cool. I can start to build up some speed, build up some momentum. As soon as I hit these rocks, though, that momentum goes away, and I'm stuck, going slow. Man, I'm running out of power. Did I harvest all these? I guess I did harvest all these. Let's go to this power node so I can get some power. It's good. I can't wait for the changes. So if you haven't, go check out that release. That blog release. It takes you to their... It has a link to their roadmap. And you can kind of see what they're planning on doing next. They don't really give dates for when they're going to be working on stuff, but they give you an idea of what they're going to be working on, which is cool. Get kind of a little window into their Astroneer heads. They have this cool on their website. I don't remember when the blog post was, but they have this some I don't know who he was, some sort of crafter, or maybe he's a toy maker or something, had produced a what do you call it? I don't want to call it a figurine, because a figurine sounds too childish. But it was a figurine of an Astroneer, his whole body, and then his backpack detached, and they had some resources that attached, and it looks like they're using, you know, the rare earth magnets to hold the stuff in place. So it was just cool. I mean, it was just really cool. I gotta get me one of those. I want an Astroneer on my desk for sure. I think that'd be really neat. Did I lose that? Okay, I didn't. Thought I lost this. It was too dark. Thought I lost that little research. Come on, baby. Give me something good, for goodness sake. Whoa. Somebody's coming. You'll get a lot of movie references out of me. I'm a movie kid, you know? I don't know what to say. We get a lot of movie references. That was from what movie? It was very popular. Very, very popular. Probably need a hint, but maybe some people won't. Let's see. And some more power. Yeah, one of the comments on their forum, was that somebody said power was not that difficult to get. I think that's probably right. If you have a vehicle, I think that's 100% correct. It's really not. You just drive around and you'll find power nodes. And can I get across this? Is there like a little dip over here that I can go up and down? No, I'm gonna have to build something. Dang it! I don't have to build anything. I'm not a good builder. You know, initially I was like, well, I don't know if that's a true statement, but then I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, you know what? The guy's right. Power is not that hard to get, because once you get solar, and you get that from day one, you just build a ton of those little ones, and it's good enough as a solar. You know, it's just like having a solar panel, a big solar panel. As long as you have enough. It's the same thing. And though I never really used the little ones like that, it's true. What was it in the live stream? Somebody was like, oh, I just make 8 of those. And I'm like, oh, I never even thought about making 8 of those. It's crazy. And I did, and sure enough, man, I was powering my base like you wouldn't believe. Plus the little things like that, right? Shoot, I didn't even know about this super grabby trick. Oh, if I can leave that there, oh, that'd be awesome. I can carry 3. Will that work? No, it's gonna kind of bump off, isn't it? Yep. The trick of being able to reach farther, which is if you get, let's say I get out here. Well, let's use this for an example. There's a resource way over there, and if I try to get it, I can't get it. But at the moment I get my tool out, oh, let's see how far I can reach. Oh, hold on here. I had it a minute ago. Oh, my tool's gone. Hold on, let's go back. See, I can get it from there. So I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all until somebody said, hey man, here's a pro trick. And I'm like, oh, sure enough, it's a pro trick. Woo, I'm a pro now. I'm a pro. I can call myself Midnight Pro. Yeah, I thought that was cool. That was a great little trick. Great trick from a great community. You guys share some really good tips. I'm just like, durr. I've been playing how many hours? I didn't think of that one. Thank you. Thank you for, like, you know, making my head work. It's awesome. Alright. Well, I know this wasn't the most exciting of Astroneers. This is Astroneer, by the way, if you guys haven't played it. This is what its current state is all about, which is trying to find the research buildings and or items so that you can then go and get the resources to build that research. And that's all right. That's all right. I had suggested some sort of tree structure and a way to achieve the tree structure. We'll see what happens, what they turn it into. Ooh, a habitat. Habitat's okay because we can take that hab. And if we can go pretty far and find a new area, we can put down a new hab somewhere. Can I get anything out of this? Lithium. Well, lithium's okay too because I have actually another piece of lithium over here, and another battery would be great. So let's put that on. I'd like to have 2 pieces of battery. Oop, that was a medium battery. Like I said, leads me to believe that medium and large batteries. Why does it feel like there's a storm coming? Seem kind of hazy. All right, good. 2 batteries. Loving it. Loving it. All right, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys very much for joining me. Really appreciate it. We're going to have more Astroneer. We're going to do more live streams of Astroneer. We're just going to kind of goof around, see what we can do. And yeah, put a like if you like the series. Leave comments in the comment section below. Love to hear you guys' feedback, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Please remember to hit that like button if you like the video, and subscribe to our channel so you can stay on top of all of our latest video releases. I release content almost every day. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.